Hello, everyone, and welcome back to back again. Illiana Stock Car Radio episode 91 for you guys this week. It's Memorial Day weekend here in Indiana, so that can only mean
Yeah.
one thing.
Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of racing.
Oh, that's it. I thought we had Monday off.
No, we'll do that.
Yeah, that's when I edit all the pictures from all that
Yeah.
lots of racing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. So if you're not familiar with us by now, I'm not sure where you've been hiding under a rock, but I'm Jeremy Banning along with Chris and Brian, the brothers Goodacre of Goodacre Photography fame. Fame? I'll go with fame, right?
Yeah, let's go with fame.
Are we famous?
Sure, why not?
I gave out enough stickers Saturday night. We're plenty famous.
Maybe infamous. I don't know. Either way.
That depends on whether or not Brian's at the same track as Scotty.
Yeah, and how many hot dogs he's consuming.
Yeah.
So guys, what's been going on? It seems like it was a busy week.
I was at a racetrack, and then I was at a racetrack, and then I was at a racetrack.
A busy weekend across Chicagoland and northern Indiana's racetracks.
Eventful too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you went to a racetrack and some boxing matches kind of broke out, is what it seemed like.
Yeah. Well, the minors want to look like the majors, or the majors want to look like the minors. Whatever.
I think it was case. Yeah. As Denny Hamlin would say, that's just short track racing.
Yeah. Either way, exciting time to be at a racetrack.
Yep, and you were able to make it out to Kankakee.
I was. By God, I had a quick day, and I hustled that beer off the truck and broke a few speeding laws. Don't come after me, cops. But yeah, made out to Kankakee for the Richard Craven Memorial. It was really cool. Got to meet Anthony and said hi to Steven. Got some cool pictures, from the night. They're posted. Not really going to push them. We're not the track photographer and a bunch of traveling people. So I didn't think many were going to sell anyway. But ultimately, it's good to go out there, support the tracks, that still exist, that still operate. I know Billy Nippenberg was happy to see me and thanked me for coming out, shook my hand. It was really cool to get out there and talk to some people.
Yep.
And then
Jay always says the more eyes on the sport, the better.
Yeah, and then we had 4 or 5 photographers out there shooting, probably 5. And they had the Mars guys had their guy. Kankakee had Nonstop. Gary was out there. I was out there. I found C. Mark, I think his name was. Maybe Rocky Ragusa was out there. So we had some talent out there shooting the big boys. And I tell you what, man, 22 or 24, however many super late models started, bad idea to not wear ear protection. Man, my ears were ringing until I left the next day for Shady Hill. It was it might have been cool, but I couldn't hear much, and it was awesome. And Steven was right, man. They were arcing and sparking. I got a couple shots. Kai Blight was really using up that right rear quarter panel, and ultimately came to his demise as he kind of stuck it in a little too high into the berm. And this 20-year-old out of Missouri, Colin McCowan, passed him on the low side, and that was it. That was the Mars late models. Good show. I think they had 28 late models, 31 modifieds. The modifieds were, sorry, there's a bug. The modifieds were just as good a show. Yeah. The sportsmen, I don't know what their case is. I think that's a Fairbury class. I don't know that Kankakee runs sportsmen's normally. It's not on their list. So that was basically the traveling class for the show specifically. And I think there were 9 of them. 2 of them broke or something, didn't start the feature. But the 2 guys, there are 2 guys in that class that put on a good race. Ultimately got Tommy Duncan, I think the guy was, that kind of took off. And then the stock cars race. And that was a pretty good show. But Braden Keller just kind of ran away with it. Seth Black didn't have much for him. So ultimately it was a good night, a late night, followed by another late night at Shady Hill. And we're up to double digits in the hot dogs. I got a little hungry this weekend. So I had 2 hot dogs and a hamburger kind of late at Kankakee because, standing on your feet taking pictures for 6 hours, you're doing nothing but burning calories. So I was hungry, and then
I don't think we got a cheeseburger counter.
No, we don't. We can make one.
Yeah.
But then out to Shady Hill, had a good night there with the Shady Hill 500. Had a milk chug going on in the victory lane with Brian Isley picking up his second feature win in a row. He held off everybody that contended. We did. I think my text to Chris was, we've gone 6 laps and we're down 5 cars. Not bad. And then I think the next ensuing was 6 cars, 7 laps, 8 cars, 7 laps, 9 cars, 7 laps. So we kind of had a bit of attrition there to start, and then things got spread out, and that was good. And late models are showing up and showing out. Modifieds have a big one going on this weekend. So everyone was out of town getting ready for that, the 20K to win Illinois dirt shootout. I know Anthony Carter's been posting like crazy about it because he's going to go compete in it. But it was a fun weekend for me doing double duty, long weekend. I was pretty well spent Monday morning and had to break my 6-month energy drink hiatus to make it through. But I'm back on my energy drink ban 2 days, for 48 hours. But yeah, it was a good weekend for me. Got a lot of good photos.
Good.
Yeah.
And Chris, sounds like
Grundy also had some race cars.
Yeah, and I got some super late models actually get the race in, huh?
Yeah, finally, it's good to see, the pits not full, but a little more full. There were more than 2 late models. We've got our normal Grundy class back going, so that's I think there's a lot of potential with the big 8 late models. We need more.
Yeah.
It's first year for a division is always going to struggle a bit till they're build up cars and car count. But yeah, this past weekend was some good racing. I thought we were going to have just a shootout between Clay Kurtz and Rich Bickle, but yeah, Baker got in there, and then Hoffman and Tomasic got together a few times, and then a few times post race activity, and it was just kind of felt like back in the day at Grundy when you got a boxing match and a race going on right next to it.
I mean, you get your money's worth, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you also trekked out to Plymouth. What, 38 street stocks, I think, is official?
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure they were just building street stocks in the pits at one point because there were 1.5 million of them.
Is that a legit number or is that a promoter's number?
That's a promoter number. But I know there was some big dogs in the B feature. Just Sage and Charlie, Gerke.
Was that why they all tried to win on lap 1?
Well, yeah, it's we don't quite have the car count for a Hornet Q feature anymore. So I think the B feature has taken over as the getting a call from Joe Gibbs the next morning.
Yeah, everybody's waiting for that call. But still a lot going on this past weekend in the racing world and here in Chicagoland and northern Indiana. And this week we have a lot coming up as well as we look forward to the proper send-off potentially for the South Bend Motor Speedway at their last lap finale. 3-4 days of racing, getting ready.
Yeah, practice Thursday, racing Friday, Saturday, and mini wedges races Sunday.
So that's a lot going on for the South Bend Motor Speedway. It officially opened in 1946 with Chicago's Ted Duncan winning the first feature race out there. And winners of the South Bend Motor Speedway include Tony Benthausen, obviously one that we're very familiar with over in this neck of the woods, originally built with midget racing in mind, but obviously
that track, we've been there for a few nights when the midgets are there. That track is a perfect midget track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then ventured into stock cars, and we've had who's who come through there. Mm-hmm. Obviously the Stremme family, the entire Stremme family. You've had guys like Ken Schrader, and we've had Kenny Wallace come there. Yeah. So lots of racing history.
Can't forget Rich Segvich.
Rich Segvich.
I want to use my last week's word, stalwart. He's a stalwart of South Bend.
Yeah. I want to say Mark Martin was telling a story not too long ago about testing out there.
I believe because he spent some time up here around North Liberty and South Bend building cars.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
hear that on some of the podcasts and stuff that he's done in the past. So definitely a hotbed here for racing in the Michiana area, and one of the stalwarts of the Michiana
I got him
racing
a word of the week calendar.
racing scene is Charlie Hanna. And Brian, you were so gracious enough to stalk or hunt down Charlie for an interview tonight.
Yeah. Funny enough, friend requested him on Facebook, and it sat and I had hoped to get to talk to him opening night at Plymouth because we made it and he was there and he won the B feature, and I was like, yes, perfect. I'll line him up. And as I walk off the track, there he goes. See ya, son of a bitch. So inbox rotted for quite some time, and finally reached out to him. Said, hey, Tony Eldridge, who of course is a big supporter of our show, said, hey, he's a good guy. Get him if you can't let anybody else, sort of thing, and had listed a couple names that we went through, and Charlie was our decision. That's who we went after, and finally got the friend request accepted, I think last night, and a message back that said, hey, how are we going to do this thing? So got it lined up, and can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, so I think without further ado, let's welcome in Charlie Hanna to Illiana Stock Car Radio.
All right, welcome into Illiana Stock Car Radio, driver of the Walter Inc. brand roofing, Top Row Racing Media, Media Blast, R&B Car Company, Left Turn Graphics, On Track Design, and Good Acre Photography, number 68 Street Stock, Charlie Hanna.
How you guys doing?
We're doing well. How are you?
Great.
Good. So you messaged me a little bit ago about getting a little nervous and wanting to make sure you had the link and what time to come in, and you mentioned you were putting in your motor for Friday night. Can't imagine race season going much differently. Plenty of hurdles to climb. How's that going? You gonna be ready?
Yeah, we'll have something going. The racing gods haven't been good to me yet this year, so we've been in 2 B features and broke a motor. So
yeah, I think the one night I made it out, the opening night, you won the B feature, and they were actually checking your fuel tank in Victory Lane.
Yeah.
I
got some special stickers back there thanks to Melissa Keys. So
yeah, good. She's good at what she does, and we appreciate her.
Sometimes a little too good.
Yes.
So you mentioned you're having a bit of a rough start to 2024. So how have you fared so far? I mean, you mentioned a couple B features. Obviously, you won one. You're currently putting in the motor. How has this varied from plans? Are you still making race day and everything?
Yeah, we're gonna make it one way or the other. I can't steal my daughter's car because I don't fit in it, so I got to make mine work.
Yeah, good.
If Kevin's commenting, I think we.
yeah, I'm sure he'll be commenting. He can't fit in her car either, so we're good.
All right. So, oh God, here we go with the blurry thing again.
Now you're out of focus.
All right, don't.
We rename this technical difficulties.
Yeah, go to the sound.
That's how Kevin drives his race car right there.
Yeah, go to the sound of his voice.
Yeah. All right. So you've been racing quite a while in the Michiana area. You want to talk about that a little bit? Like where did you get your start at, and how long you've been doing it, and maybe some feature wins, some championships along the way?
I started when I was 15 at New Paris Speedway. I ran there, I think 15 years straight, never missed, had perfect attendance every week, every year. And then I decided I got with Jeff Berkey, and we were going to go ASA racing. So we attempted that for 2 years and realized we didn't. I'm still there.
Yeah, we're still here. Yep. I'm still blurry.
And then after ASA, I come back and ran local just a little bit. And then we decided to go see. Yeah, everybody's cutting in and out. There we go.
Yeah. Apparently, this recording episode is going about like your season has been so far.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going great.
Oh man! All right, let's take a pause and see if I can get this stupid thing to work. Nope.
All right.
Nothing. Come on.
No,
Nothing.
we're gonna have to get you a new camera or
you go.
something. Send that in with.
There you go. You're not blurry there. Just stay that
Oh,
close.
we got the extreme close up working.
That'll be good for everybody on YouTube to see your eyeballs like that.
Yeah. Get some butters in there.
Up your nose.
All
Just be great.
right. Come on.
That's why there's an audio version of this too.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. One thing's going right
Jeez.
for us. All right. Thank God.
There you go.
All right.
I'm glad we got a good
All right.
editor.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So let's rewind real quick. We cut out quite a bit, and obviously I went blurry. So you've been racing in Michiana for quite some time. You started at 15 years old and over at New Paris, and that's about where you started to cut out.
Oh, yeah. I started at 15, ran there 15 years straight, perfect attendance, never missed a weekend. And then I decided to branch out. I mean, we'd go to like Super Shoe, stuff like that. But me and Jeff Berkey got together and decided we were going to go ASA racing. So we attempted that for 2 years and realized we didn't have enough money to compete with those guys.
Yeah.
So we came back home and I did about 2 years of local racing, and then I ended up going to CRA Sportsman Division.
Okay.
And I ran there for probably seven years. Got 2 championships in that. A lot of wins. Winchester was probably one of my best ones in CRA. I won there back to back 3 times in a row at Winchester. So I always told my mom when I was little I was going to race at Winchester sometime because we grew up at Winchester. Went to every Winchester 400 since I was born, I think. So I told her when I was a kid I'd be racing here someday, and so I ended up at Winchester, and that was my goal at that point. After CRA, I come back local, drove for Donnie Klotz at New Paris 1 year. And then Gene Davis hit me up, wanted me to drive for him. And that pretty much told the story from South Bend. I drove for him for 7 years, and we won 4 championships in those 7 years. So.
Awesome. So it sounds like you really awesome. So it sounds like you're really living out your childhood dream, and the Winchester, and seems you've been quite illustrious with championships and feature wins along the way. So now your daughter Sage races. We just talked about her having a car. Why don't you talk about being a dad and maybe a crew chief to her all at the same time? And racing your own car? You got a lot on your plate on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going from racing for Gene Davis and just showing up and driving the car, and then going back to having your own car and your daughter driving. And I got really spoiled driving for the Davis team. Now trying to take care of 2 cars. My dad, if I didn't have my dad, I wouldn't be able to do it because he takes care of my car during the week. And then at the track, we're on the phone constantly trying to do setups and stuff like that over the phone. But me and Sage get along for the most part. The dad thing, she don't want to listen when I tell her what's going on. I've only been doing it 34 years, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah,
Typical daughter.
But she's been getting better and better every year, and she's got a lot of respect from a lot of the guys now. She runs a pretty good groove, stays out of everybody's way when she needs to, and drives hard when she needs to. So I've been pretty proud of her. She's got a couple wins under her belt in front wheel drive. She's won a couple B features in the street stock. She at Plymouth or at South Bend, she made quite a few of the street stock A features. So I'm pretty proud of what she's done. Now she's in college, so she's already missed 2 weeks this year, trying to go bounce back and forth from college.
Yeah. Good. So gotcha. Sorry, I was looking at my notes and I confused myself.
That happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
So as this night was announced pretty early in the year, there's probably a good chance that you had it circled. This is really the foreseeable last chance to race. Win, lose, draw, whatever happens. How are you preparing for it? I mean, honestly, we just said it. You're putting your motor in it because it blew last weekend, and
Yeah.
you definitely want to be there. So physically, you're putting the car back together to make sure it races. How are you preparing for this race this weekend? Really emotionally.
Uh, I didn't grow up there like a lot of people did. I mean, the last 7-8 years has been my home, but
Yeah.
that's where we go every week, no matter what. Uh, I mean, I got new pair at track, but I still got all my friends and everybody at Plymouth when
Yeah.
we go there. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are arguing and very upset that it's closing. All it takes is $1 million or better, and somebody else can make it a racetrack. So that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brian went from blurry to being disappeared.
What?
Yeah, all it takes is money.
There we are.
I
There you
know
go.
the Sauer management team has been pretty steadfast on if you think you could do it, buy it. Put your money where your mouth is, and I support them in that. This is definitely a business decision, and sometimes you gotta cut your loss and take it on the chin. And
Yeah.
I don't know the full
They're
story about how things really panned out, but from hearsay and talking with Chris and hearing from people that he's talked to, along the way, it just sounds like it's a political battle, and the politics don't want it, and it just ain't worth the fight anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's definitely not to break everybody's heart and do it on purpose. I mean, you got to make a business decision at this point. And
Right.
when you don't get help from the local government and everybody county, nobody wants you to help you. I mean, you just got to do what you got to do as a businessman and move on.
Yeah, and by all means, you got to give it to the Sauer management team putting this weekend on. They didn't have to, and they're bringing everyone back. They're rolling out the red carpet. They're bringing in their fireworks team, which I know Kevin loves, and he's got the I forget what it's called, like Fire in the Sky or something, and just basically a bunch of fireworks, and it's a great show. I hear. I've never seen it. I haven't had the availability to get out there for a show, but maybe one of these years. At least a Plymouth.
Have you ever seen a fireworks at Disney World?
You've seen
It
fireworks
beats
at
the Disney World
I have.
fireworks. So.
Well, damn, I might have to clear my schedule.
It beats Disney World.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. And so talking about the Sauer family and management team, you and Kevin seem to have quite the relationship on Facebook, kind of picking on each other.
Yeah, it's a good time. He's getting fatter and fatter, so he's catching up to me, so I can make fun of him more and more. So it makes it easy.
Yeah, I saw you started a pizza business. Is Kevin supporting your pizza business?
Yeah. All I gotta do is have pizza and ice cream, and Kevin's there, so you're good.
Yeah, good. I'm not far behind. I love my pizza.
Yeah.
And that's good to have a good relationship with the management team and a fellow racer. You guys can throw ideas back and forth and have fun on a Saturday night, and that's really what we try to push. Aside from keeping the history and keeping the sport alive, we really try to push. Have fun, because you put a lot of time and money and effort into these cars and show up, and you certainly don't want to be taken out or feel like you got taken out. But we like to push. Make racing fun. Make it fun again. But we get the competitive side. We're competitive in all things that we do. This weekend's bound to be a big one, and they've got 2 days of racing and 6 or 7 classes, and I haven't seen the payouts. I don't know if there's a lot of money on the line, sort of thing, but really just make this weekend a good one. Have fun with it.
Right.
Us three
Yep.
have lost. I guess you could kind of say we lost 3 tracks, but truthfully, Rockford was never a home to us, and Raceway was a little bit before my time. But Illiana was close to us, and we didn't get the opportunity. It just
Right.
hey,
They're just done. Yep.
opening night is scheduled for late April, and that never happened. It's just sorry.
Right. And that could have happened here too. I mean, luckily we get to go one more time and everybody come together as a family. Hopefully there's no complaints and everybody just goes and has fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's already been plenty of complaints along the way on Facebook, and unfortunately, that's what social media has become.
Yep.
Just a public crying board.
Yep.
And props to Jay Freet for kind of managing all of it and kind of sticking up for everybody involved.
Yeah, Jay's the man. I mean, he's got so many hats he wears. He should be making $1 million a year taking care of everything. So Jay Freet's one of the coolest guys at the track. So
yeah, he's always good for a pocket dog. That's for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
So heading into this weekend, you get everything going and you make the feature. What would it mean to you to take home the checkers Saturday night?
I mean, to get one of the last trophies, being one of the last winners, I mean, it's kind of hard to top that. I got lucky enough. We had Rich Bull and my dad's night in the late models probably 3-4 years ago, and me and Rich Bull battled to the end, to the last lap, and I ended up winning that feature on my dad's night, and that's probably one of my biggest wins ever running for my dad. So I mean, this one would compare to that, but I mean, that's probably one of my biggest wins ever, having my dad at the track and winning on his night. So
yeah. So what all divisions have you raced? I know Chris has been out there shooting for a few years now. I've seen you in a late model, and now you're in a street stock.
Yeah, I ran late model street stock. Ran sportsman. I did CRA sportsman. We of course did ASA for 2 years. But the only thing I haven't raced there is a front wheel drive, I think. I've actually done a front wheel drive enduro. I've been in one of those, so I guess that counts.
Oh, yeah.
Close
there you
enough.
go.
Yeah, there you
Awesome. Yeah. Well, what's the biggest difference between running at South Bend versus running at Plymouth? I know the size. There's a little bit of size difference and maybe some baking, but as far as car setups go, how big of a difference is it between the two tracks?
Car setup wise, we don't change too much. You can actually run the same gears. Plymouth, you're running a little more RPMs, but you can keep up so much corner speed at South Bend. The gear ratio kind of stays the same. You run out of room at South Bend really quick. Plymouth, you got time to make mistakes. South Bend, you make a mistake, you can take your car home backwards on the trailer. So, just that's why a lot of guys don't like running South Bend, because I mean, you can end your season in one night. All it takes is one accident. I mean, I've proven it. I've done it in one night and lost the whole season. So.
Yeah. I saw the. Speaking of that, Chris had one of the nights he put it in the wall pretty hard. He showed me those pictures back when that happened, and I saw they resurfaced. So another positive from this weekend happened is all the stories and memories people have been sharing on Facebook. I know you shared the little blurb about the history of the speedway, how long it's been there, and people that have just instantly commented on these posts about, oh, my grandfather, great grandfather, uncles, fathers, sons, whoever, they race there, and they talk about the memories, and that's really what this weekend should be about. Really, who cares who wins? Just finish the race, put it on the trailer, and live to race next weekend, right?
Yep. Everybody come and have fun. Don't destroy your crap so you can go next week. Just survive this weekend and everybody have fun with it.
Yeah, certainly. So we do our hashtag one positive segment where we share a positive impact racing has had on our lives. So whether that's a feature win, family time, seems to be family time is a very popular one that we ask our guests to share. And you've already hit on that. But if there's a one positive for you that racing has had on your life, or if you care to share it, we'd ask that you would.
I'm saying the most positive in the last 6 years of driving with my own car with my dad, spending every night in the garage with my dad. He's 81. He'll be 81 next month. We're having a good time doing it.
Good. Yeah, that's good. I know last episode we had both our guests were just that time with their dad.
Mhm.
And I was able to get out to Kankakee Friday night, and I was able to get a couple cool shots of Stephen Brooks, who was one of our guests, with his father working on their car together. So maybe if Chris can get out there Saturday, he can get a couple of those for you.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
And maybe
Yeah,
you maybe you and Sage working on her car.
Yeah. Yeah, she comes home about 2 days a week from college. She gets home Thursday night, and we kick butt on her car on Thursday and Friday. So we're gonna have to finish it all up tomorrow night, so it'll be ready for Friday.
Good family time. Greasy knuckles,
Yeah.
sweaty hands.
Yeah,
Just
there
a
you
few
go. Especially now it's almost 90 out. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, just a few
Yeah.
cuss words. That's all.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, not many.
Yeah. Before you go, you want to take a minute, thank your sponsors and your supporters, and maybe push your shirts that you and Sage have had done, and where to get those at.
Sure. For one sponsor over the last 10 years is RB Car Company. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I've done. I mean, with the championships with Gene Davis's team, I mean, they backed us for a long time, and then they stepped up. Now his son's racing. They've stepped up and sponsored classes and the tracks and PTS trucks, and RB Car Company is one of the big ones. And then, of course, I work for Walter, and they sponsor a lot of local activities all over the Midwest. They actually sponsor a class at Slinger Speedway. I think in July we're going to go up to Slinger and run Walter Night up there. Me and Sage are going to try it out. I've never been there. High Bank, so I'm excited to go. We're going to go up there and try that in July. Walter, of course,
Make sure you
a lot of
remind him
people don't know
what the
what it
actual
is.
fastest quarter mile is.
Yeah. We're going to that Friday night. I worked for Walter, and we do forklifts and dock levelers, and we buy, sell used, fix any brand. So if anybody needs any forklift work, hit me up. Then we got Top Row Racing that has come on strong the last couple of years here with videography and promoting lots of tracks, not just one. They're all over the place now. Of course, Melissa Graphics. She's been one of the top orders to make my cars when I crash them and putting extra stickers on my stuff. Who else? We got Media Blast this year, powder coating for me and getting the parts look really good. Get your stuff go to I got the crew, the gear guy, and doing for us. A lot of Austin Maynards, Rich Bulls. So you need your 4 9-inch gear set up, Chris. And I think that's all. Kevin. But Kevin supported us for years now, and I do anything to back him up. I get a lot that I'm favored, and Kevin thrown me out of the track too. I lost a championship, so I always throw that in Kevin's face. He threw me out of the track one night, cost me a championship.
Well, thanks for coming.
And of course, my wife and my I thank my wife and my kids and my family for supporting what I do. I spent a lot of time in the garage, and now we had 6 kids, and they're all moved out. Sage is the last one; she's in college, so we got a lot of quiet time now. So, I'd like to thank my wife and my kids for putting up with what I did for years.
Awesome. I gotta wait for the dramatic pause.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like you have plenty of support, and you'll be ready to rock and roll come Friday night in over at South Bend Speedway for their final lap, last lap finale, 2-day event. Practice Thursday, racing and fireworks Friday, and racing Saturday, and mini wedges Sunday. If that's not a promo, I don't know what is.
There you go.
But
Full weekend.
thanks for coming on, Charlie. Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for coming on, Charlie. We appreciate it. Good luck to you this weekend, and Sage, go get them.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, man.
Oh, well, guys, as per usual here on Illiana Stock Car Radio sometimes.
As far from professional. as
Hey,
we
we do what we can.
Yeah, it's when you're at the technical God's mercy,
Mhm.
of Wi-Fi and everything else, sometimes that happens. Regardless, though, great to have Charlie on.
That's why we like doing the in-studio ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different set of technical difficulties usually, but at least
right.
it removes one variable of it.
Yeah.
But it does happen. But Charlie had good information. Got to learn a little bit about him. What's your guys' reaction to some of the things he said?
He's a fun guy, man. I'd like to have some beers with him and maybe some pizza.
Pizza's always good. But yeah. I think you can give Kevin a little bit of ribbing is always entertaining, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. To have a relationship like that with a track owner is different. It's like being friends with your boss. It's good when you can be friends with him and bullshit. I've got good bosses, supervisors over at Indiana Beverage, and we can be serious when we need to, but so it's certainly plenty of shit, bullshitting around, slap ass, whatever you want to call it. Teasing each other, saying
what you guys do with your asses. I don't really want to know.
We work them off delivering beer. That's it's that time, man. Memorial Day weekend. We're selling plenty of Miller Lite. Here's my second promo. Maybe Miller Lite will finally reach out and say, "Hey, you guys are good. Let's sponsor you. Let's build a studio, Miller Lite Studios." How's that sound?
There you go.
It's probably more like, we just have pity on your soul. So here, just please go away.
Yeah, right. You're gonna get a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. You're like, hey, stop promoting us. We don't want you.
Hey, we can't be any worse than the guys in Chicago, man. They just talk. I mean, all they do is talk sports. That's what we do. We talk racing.
That's it. Yeah.
We can. I could say a little blurb about how good Miller Lite is. Great lace. Jesus.
Great. Nope. Can't. Well, that's a different show, my friend.
Great tasteless filling. Oh man, I just not a scantily dressed female. That's all. I'm not as cute.
And we are officially demonetized.
Yep. Well, we're just gonna have to ball this one up and throw it in the trash, I guess.
Oh my god.
But there we go. So yeah, thank you, Charlie, for coming in and talking with us for a little bit. Obviously, it cool perspective though too to have a guy that, and we've had it before too, where they're having the next generation, their kids, in his case, his daughter Sage racing as well. So kind of be able to pass that down through generations. It's definitely kind of keeps within the theme of basically the racing family that we've got built up in the area. Yes, and since it did cut out a little bit on some of his sponsor plugs, Charlie, if you're watching or when you watch, just go ahead and type all those sponsors out if you want to in the comments, just so we got them all covered.
Yeah,
that does make a difference. Any other thoughts on anything Charlie had to say and prepping for the upcoming weekend here in South Bend?
Not so much what he had to say tonight, but I've been reading all the postings going on Facebook this week, and there has been a lot. But Charlie, a couple days ago, this would be on Friday now, so a few days ago, earlier this week anyway. He had posted, somebody had shared a couple old pictures of the track to one of the various Midwest racing pages, because God knows there's plenty of those.
Right.
And that post, he shared it, and then like 150 million other people have shared it since then. And when he shared it, he said something about if only the track could have gotten this kind of promotion when we were still actively racing there, and it's always kind of and it's, a day late, dollar short a little bit, but at the same time, it's always people rush to bash, and inevitably things close down and aren't around anymore, and then you talk about all the good times. We need to talk about the good times now while we're experiencing the good times.
Mm-hmm.
Be less reactive and more proactive.
Yeah, we've experienced, personally or vicariously, Santa Fe Raceway, Illiana, US 30 drag strip, Rockford. Did I say South Lake? I can't remember if I said South Lake or not.
LaSalle Speedway's gone.
Yeah, LaSalle, Daughtry, now South Bend, and Mottville. They're not really building new ones, and the ones we have are disappearing quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely a drum we've beat here over and over for the last several years. Is like you said, everybody's quick to point out the negative and slow to throw out a positive, which is why we put our one positive segment out there, and why we ask all of our guests to do that one positive. So I think now is just as good a time as any if you guys have one positive to share from the weekend.
I got one, but it's not from last weekend, because last weekend was a little rough at times. But this weekend we get to go to South Bend one more time, 3 more times, depending on how often you're there this weekend. We get one more weekend of racing at South Bend, and that's we've talked. Rockford had a whole season. Illiana had a hey, we're closed. So the fact that we get one more time and we can go out and experience South Bend Motor Speedway again, because I know end of last year I was walking off the track and I turned around and looked back onto the track there at the end of the night and thought, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this place again. So the fact that we get one more, that's not something to sneeze at.
It's huge. Get out there.
Yep. Brian, what do you got?
I got as you guys talk about tracks closing, I talk about tracks opening their arms to any help that they can get, really. And it was last minute that I made that decision to go to Kankakee, and shot a text over to Billy Nippenberg, and he said, sure, come on out. So I would like my hashtag one positive this week is the relationship side of racing. As we listen to guys talk about working on the car for hours, with their dad, the family side of things, and racing and building those relationships. As long as you're holding the light in the correct direction, you'll have a good relationship, right?
Right.
So Billy Nippenberg allowing me to come out last minute and take some shots, work my craft, and rub elbows with some big dogs, with the Mars guys. That's really awesome of him to do that for me. And I think it also kind of has a little bit to say about the character that I have and the relationships I've built within the local racing scene. As Chris and I can attest, there are plenty of people that have a camera that think they can do what we do. And I promise you, there's far more to taking pictures than just clicking a button. And it was awesome to get out, saw a good race, ate a couple hot dogs and a hamburger. Really wish it was a cheeseburger, but they ran out. That's the downside of being a racetrack photographer. You don't get to just walk off the track whenever you want. So food was good, the environment was good, stands were full. Holy shit, the stands were full. And it was all worth the price of admission. So hopefully you got out there, and if you didn't, you watched it on Flow, because if you didn't, you missed out.
Yep, absolutely. My one positive from the last weekend, and I'm going to broaden the scope a little bit, and we'll tie it in here.
Oh God, you're going to talk about the fight?
No, we're not going to go there.
If Brian can't get out of the infield at Kankakee and he just doesn't eat, Stenhouse, or
he's locked up.
Stenhouse
he's a caged animal.
No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to go to the pro ranks, but just to see what Kyle Larson has done at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway so far the month of May, and also to have the continued success in the NASCAR side. as much as we, and in this area, people love to bash NASCAR or IndyCar, the professional ranks of motorsports. What happens at the professional ranks of motorsports trickles down to the short track level. And somewhere, one of these guys or one of these kids that Kyle Larson comes and races with, he was at Kokomo last week. One of these kids wants to do what he's doing. So he has set a high bar to be able to do that. But he, again, is another guy like a Tony Stewart too, that can prove that you can go from the dirt tracks here in Indiana to racing in the Indy 500 or racing Cup car at North Wilkesboro or Charlotte Motor Speedway and be successful at it. So just that influence and what he's doing down there, that's just God-given talent, I think, at that point, just to be able to drive a car. And then the positive impact of what he has done for short track racing. I mean, because he's probably somewhere racing tonight, for all we know.
Go check on Flo.
I know, right? So to him to be able to do that, keep those roots and want to do that, and then to succeed at the professional level, I think that connection is a great influence for our local short tracks.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people that have followed dirt racing for a long time, sprint racing specifically, have really compared him to Brian Clausen and everything Brian Clausen was projected to really be. And I know Kyle could, you put him in anything, he's going to drive it. And he's going to drive the wheels off. So he qualified fifth officially, because he had the fast time there for a little bit, right?
Yeah. I think I heard that's the fastest a rookie has ever qualified for the Indy 500.
That's awesome, man. That's just wild.
Might be the fastest a rookie has gone from Indianapolis to North Wilkesboro too.
Also true. So lots.
Anytime you got Jeff Gordon carrying your helmet.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, think about that for a minute. But no, that's awesome to watch, and we look forward to seeing what he can do this weekend. But this weekend, a lot of on-track action here in Chicagoland in northern Indiana, Grundy County Speedway. You got the Corporal Christian Smith Memorial Race for the Grundy Super Cups.
Not to put you in the hot seat, but I know one of those is sitting in a garage not too far from here.
You are correct, and it will still, unfortunately, be sitting this Friday for that race. Awesome trophy, an awesome tribute. I know that is one that all the Super Cup guys have circled on the calendar the last few years. So definitely a lot going on there. Shady Hill Speedway, the Brewster Baker Classic. On
2000 to win. Rebel late bottles, and then everyone else is tagging along for the weekly shows. And I know we follow that up with autograph night. So here is another PSA. Please get your autograph card orders in. I'm not going to do them Friday night.
Yes. And then obviously with all the goings on at South Bend, Plymouth is off this week. They will be back up on the 1st for Grand Slam race number 1. And then Kankakee County Speedway also has an off weekend this week.
They originally had some trailer, I think it's River City Rumble is what it's called, trailer race sort of deal. That I know they called it about 3 weeks ago because they just didn't have the pre-entries, and it's a risk to run a track. Period. So when you decide to open up and you get 2 cars show up, I mean that's tough. You gotta look and make that business decision.
Yeah. We talked about it earlier with Charlie and South Bend. Sometimes you got to make the business decision, and that was the one that made for this weekend. So that being said, Good Acre Photography, a lot going on there. You guys will be on the road again this weekend, and a lot from last weekend coming out as well.
Yeah, have all the pictures from this weekend finally got posted this morning. We took a lot, and we had some technical hiccups, which seems to be the theme of this week. So
common theme.
Took a little bit longer to get posted than I was happy with, but everything's posted now. We got autograph nights coming up, so I'm buried in autograph cards again. Brian's throwing me a lifesaver, but
quietly working
he's right
behind
there
the
himself.
I am quietly working behind the scenes.
Well, there you go. Also, driver cards and everything coming up for autograph nights as well. So, drivers, if you have not gotten your requests in from Good Acre Design, why not? And you better freaking hurry up.
Yeah.
So hit them up there. As far as us here on the Illiana Stock Car Radio, you can find us on YouTube at Illiana SCR. Obviously, it's probably how you're watching this. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, the bell, all that good stuff to get notified whenever we post a new episode. If you don't have time or not able to watch the video version of the podcast, we are available in audio form on Spotify. Google Podcasts, I had a note, is going away, so we won't be there anymore. But we still are on Apple Podcasts. If you just Google us, you can find us on the other podcast platforms as well. Facebook and Instagram, you can find us there at Illiana SCR. Again, kind of keep track of everything we've got going on as far as show postings, things we've got coming up, things that intrigue, and just interest us. Obviously, we also like to share posts about what's going on in the racing community, whether Damn It Dimmit's doing some cool videos or whatever Goodacre's got going on. So kind of our central little news hub there on Facebook. So make sure to follow us.
Are we starting a media company?
No. I'm just trying to drum up. I cannot keep track of everything we already do. So
can I go shoot for media now? That's a inside joke amongst us photographers.
No, Kemperman's been on the show before.
Oh, she has? Oh,
yeah. You photographers.
That'd be, when in doubt and you want credentials, just say you're shooting for media. That might get you in.
Maybe.
I mean, if you have good media like Kim does, she does pretty good shit. So she's also pretty well known, especially up there in Wisconsin. She shoots a lot of that Wisconsin stuff.
Yeah. So
so her and Chelsea Landis both all over Late Model Digest today.
Oh, there
did they get the cover?
I don't think either one of them got the cover of today's issue.
I'm gonna say, did they get the?
Well, we didn't have any pictures in today's issue.
Well, you need to step up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they get the middle page spread?
Well, I didn't get any pictures in the pits of extracurriculars.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, there was a race going on.
Do they still do centerfolds in magazines, or that's an online publication?
That's an online now. So the centerfold is just the middle.
That's a different kind of magazine, Brian.
hey, we have a centerfold in Shady Hill Speedway's program for $4. You can buy it at the racetrack.
Oh, shameless self-promotion. There you go.
Yeah, literally, because I know who put the program together.
I helped design it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Just me. But so 2 weeks. We'll be off next week, enjoying ourselves or whatever we're gonna do on Wednesday.
Catching up.
Yeah, catching up would be more like it. Taking a breath.
We'll I like this idea of relevancy. I think it makes the show a little bit more interesting. It gives
We've always been relevant. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean,
we've always flirted with that line between relevant and irrelevant.
With helping promote upcoming events and stuff. Sounds like we're gonna have Dave Gentile Jr. Is that confirmed?
That's who that's the arm I was twisting anyway.
And I will be out for a work meeting, so you guys will be left to the wolves. I won't even be a floating head. I'll be gone forever. See ya.
He'll be sending us notes while he's listening to it.
Yeah, right. But we'll be previewing the Frank Welch Memorial, and hopefully we have a good show for that, and look forward to hearing from Dave.
Yeah. And so that's what we've got coming up here in a couple weeks on Illiana Stock Car Radio. Again, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Illiana SCR. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Again, we want to thank Charlie Hanna for coming on and talking about the final lap at the South Bend Motor Speedway. And as promoter Tony Eldridge likes to say, make sure you get your backside, trackside out there possibly one last time. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We look forward to seeing you again on Illiana Stock Car Radio.